So now let's have a look at the Otis panels. Very difficult to make these stand up because these are actually quite heavy, so I'll put a sellotape dispenser just to hold that up. So very similar to the express panels, these, where they've applied some resin through the digits. It's obviously all cut out by a machine of some kind. If you look very closely, you can actually see where the tool has cut these digits out. So if we look behind this layer, you can see a slight indent where this resin has been applied into. Now you can't see it that much with this one, but if I show you the other one, you can see it a lot clearer. But this is the part where they've applied this resin and it's gone through the digits to the other side, and then they've had to file down this side to make it flush. If you look closely in there, you can see that the metal wasn't entirely flat beforehand. And that would possibly be so that the resin has something to sink into. They've created a channel. Now if I take you to the side on this one, you'll see that the resin is actually flush. So this part here would have been hollowed out, the resin would have been applied, and then I would imagine this would have gone through some kind of machine to make it flush on both sides. So that creates a very thin layer that the bulb would need to shine through. So the piece of metal in the middle of that number 4, and also any other digit like this number 6 or the 10, you can see that they've had to leave these little tiny bits to hold the middle of the 0 in position. Now one thing to consider here is if you had a bulb positioned, let's say here, using my video light, then you can see that it will shine and light up the next digits. So this is with the video light held right next to it. But of course the bulb will be positioned backwards. Now you can see it lights up the next digits. So Express built up a framework around these digits to have the bulb lighting up only the segment that it's supposed to. Otis did the opposite. Now can you see that there is a slight ring around these numbers here? And that's because Otis had a cup, and that shielded the light to travel to any of the other digits apart from the one that it's supposed to light up. Just an observation here, you can see that there are 2 wires terminated onto the same terminal of every bulb. And what that would mean is, one of these wires would be incoming from the floor below, and then one wire, or the other wire, would be the wire that would feed the display on the floor above. So incoming, outgoing. Every single bulb seems to have one. So all I need to do is just strip the ends of one of these wires, then I'll have my wire for the bulb, and then the other wire connects onto the common that goes along the top. The Otis bulb filter system. So these are cups that go around each of the bulbs to stop the light from shining into the next digit. Now these are not that easy to take out, but let's just try and take one of these out. These do not unscrew, they just seem to push over the lamp. There we go. There we go, it's just basically a cup. It covers the lamp. Now I think that was the original design, but what people have appeared to have done is this looks like a piece of copper tubing, maybe a coupler. It looks like a piece of that will go around a piece of pipe. But that does the same sort of job, but obviously that's not as thick as the other one. Now what voltage are we dealing with here? There are two different types of lamps in here. There's this conventional type, and there's also this type. So this one lights up a bit like a neon, and then you've got that reflector which then shines the light forwards, whereas that one's just a conventional filament lamp. Very difficult to see the markings on these bulbs. I'm hoping that this one gives us some better idea. So I couldn't see any markings at all on there that said about voltage. Oh, there we go. 120 RC, so I would imagine that means 120 volts. So a closer look at that one. So now what we have is a little bit of an unboxing here, because somebody who some of you may know, called Risbriff, he sent me these bulbs. And I haven't opened this yet until now, so let's have a look. Wow, these look like they're brand new. 125 volts, 25 watts that one. I'm wondering if these fit inside here. I would imagine that these would have been used for the up-down bulbs. There's another one. Chay 120 RC 10 lamps. Naturally, that is completely different. Well, for one, it's much shinier. We'll have a look at that one in a bit more detail in a moment. Or perhaps they're all the same. So that's the same type. Trying to see whether I can get a bulb that matches the one that's in there. There we go, I found one. Hi. These are very reflective. If any of these bulbs don't work, I now have some replacements. And I think that's what we should do next.